Now look, the solutions we need, they're not complicated. And you already know what most of them are. We just need somebody who's willing to tell the truth. We need somebody who says what they mean and means what they say.
That's right.
We need to stop the deficit spending. Let me tell you a story. I bought a house recently on the other end of town. It's a house that my grandfather actually bought in the 50s. He moved it from Main Street onto a new foundation where it sits now. My grandfather came over and I've been remodeling the house. And I said, you know, Papa, why'd you do this? Papa, why'd you do that? When we got to the stairs, there's 2 boards that make up every stair tread to go up. And after 60 years, they start to creak. So I asked my grandfather's here today. I said, Papa, why'd you put 2 treads on each stair instead of using 1 board? He put his hand on my shoulder and he said this, son, you got to remember one thing. In those days, we were poor. I was working, getting money, and buying building materials as I could. And I was running out of cash. So I had to use 2 boards instead of 1. That's the kind of logic we need in Washington, D.C. You can't spend money you don't have. We have to pay off our national debt. We have to cut individual and business taxes if we expect to grow this economy. We have to replace the current tax code with a fair tax code that doesn't pick winners and losers based on campaign contributions. We need term limits in Congress, and we have to remove the special perks, the retirement, the health care that congressmen get. You see, Thomas Paine warned us against this. He said, you can't allow the elected to form for themselves interests separate from the electors. We need to limit bills to only related topics. No more hate crimes on a defense appropriation bill. No more student loans and a health care bill. If a bill can't stand on its own merits, it doesn't stand.
That's right.
No more earmarks. We have trained these politicians to go to Washington and fetch earmarks, and we rewarded them with re-election when they did it. It has to stop, and it stops now. We have to enforce our immigration laws, secure our borders, and most importantly, remove the incentives that encourage people to come here illegally. There can be no path to citizenship for illegals. My mom, my aunts, my uncles, many of them work right here in Iberia Parish school system, and they can all tell you, even a first grader knows you can't cut in line. If you want to be a citizen, you have to come in the front door and you have to do it legally. We have to restore our coastline to protect our Louisiana communities. We have to rebuild our barrier islands, our marshes, and our cypress forests. We have to encourage choice and competition in education. We have to promote policies that strengthen the American family, that support marriage between one man and one woman. That protect life from the womb to the tomb. And that promote individual responsibility. Finally, I know there are a lot of people out there who are upset about health care. They're upset about the way that it was passed. They're upset about the law itself. There's a lot of states, and Louisiana included, that are filing lawsuits against the mandates, and that's good. We need to do that. But those cases are going to be tied up in court for years. And the truth is, with the right Congress, we can simply not fund the law. You see, the Constitution requires that the Congress control the money, not the President. The President only proposes a budget. And once we, the people, have taken back our representation in the legislative and the executive branches, then the time will be right to repeal and replace this legislation with free market-based solutions on health care that increase access, that improve portability, that increase competition and reduce costs, that improve quality and put the individual and the doctor back in charge.